Right, so we are working from home and we are trying to attempt to find resources that will allow us to continue to practice our graphic design journey without the benefits of the Adobe Creative Suite. The Adobe Creative Suite may be available at some point. It's hard to tell. In this case, we're going to go to a website here. The website is called vectr.com, vectr.com. So vectr.com, if you see right off the bat, you've got a couple different options here. I'm going to click on Use Online. And you are immediately kind of given this little sort of workspace here, this sort of UI. And we've got a couple of things kind of going on. So before we talk about any of the tools here, let's talk about this little bit down here. This is a temporary file. Sign up or log in to save your work. I suggest that you sign up. I do not believe you have to confirm an email. I think you could probably log in with your acemaking.org account. So I might log in with my Gmail here and or my Google account here. I might just try to use my acemaking account. Let's see what happens if I use that. Wow, hey, look at that, almost done. So I'll choose Mr. Lobello as my username, and I'll press done. And then I'll just, yeah, sure, that's it. So you're not going to see the email because you don't actually access your Gmail through the acemaking.org, but it should still work to get a thing made here. So it still says this is a temporary file. I'm going to click here to copy it to my account. So hopefully I can view this again later. Just to kind of show you the sort of basic things here, it's a pretty much a stripped down version of Adobe Illustrator here, it being a vector image. As far as the shapes go, you've got your rectangle here. For some reason, it appears that as you draw with different shapes, the colors sort of run along some kind of a color wheel spectrum here. So if I draw into the rectangle, it's going to be a different, slightly different color here. And I'm not really sure what the logic is of that. Again, I'm sort of new to this, as you might be, and we're going to learn how to use this together. But one thing I noticed that you can change the color of the fill, what we call the fill, generally known as the fill, is what's known as the background color here, right? So if I just change the background, I can change that, and you have your color picker here. You don't really have much in the way of swatches, but it's like anything else. You can copy and paste the hexadecimal code for the RGB color, and you can always sample from a thing that you've found online. That's fine too. But just to kind of show some of the controls here around the rectangle here, and I want to say you can affect your roundness in some form or fashion, but I think we'll come back to that because I'm not entirely sure on this. So in the meantime, though, you can look at, say, for instance, your stroke, and your stroke in this case is called your border, and so you can affect the size, and you can affect where it's going to land on the inside, on the outside, or on the center of your path. And then we have our ellipses here, and we can keep those constrained by holding down Shift. Right, we can keep this, we can make this oval shaped and stuff, so it's the same deal as before. Now the methods in which we select is everything is basically just automatically select. So essentially you draw a shape, and then you're immediately under your select tool here. And as far as grouping goes, I don't believe there's much in the way that you can do to group things together. But what we can do is we can select things at the same time and move them around. Now you notice what just happened. I thought I was just selecting these two shapes here, but my little bounding box, my little selection box, came close to that ellipse. But because the ellipse has this little bounding box here that has this little corner kind of hanging out this way, I still selected that one as well. So you can select multiple things, and I want to say you can also hold down Shift and select multiple things as well. I don't believe you can, and then I don't believe Control does anything. But you hold down Shift, you select multiple things like this. So for instance, right here, I can select these two things, and notice this little pop-up menu kind of appears, which allows me to do the little Boolean things like unite or subtract, or intersect, or exclude. And so right here, for instance, I could subtract minus front, essentially is what's happening there. And so same deal as before. I could select these two, and I could minus front and stuff like that. So we're going to create, say for instance, a little typography thing here, just to kind of familiarize yourself with some of the controls here. So you should see this bear here, right? And you should have this in your D2L. So go ahead and download this, and go to this site here and hit this little upload image. And let's find that little. Let's see here. Where did it go? Let's find our downloads. And in this case, it's under EOS Digital. So I'll find, once again, I'll upload, and I'll go to my little. Check that here. Okay, so let's trace out this bear using our pen tool. Now, in this case, the pen tool works the same way. Well, it has the same general concept as the Bezier pen tool we've seen before. Now, in this workspace here, we've got a little zoom that doesn't appear to be a shortcut for zooming in. So just do your best to kind of zoom in here. And so I'll trace out a little bit here. Now, notice the one big difference with the pen tool compared to this. I can't, for example, right now, I can't hold down the Alt key. I'm holding on the Alt key right here. I haven't let go of the pen tool yet. And I can hold down the Control button, I can hold down the Shift button. Nothing really happens until I let go. Once I let go, I can hold down the Control button. I can actually shorten this line here and sort of change the direction. But until I let go of it for the first time, for instance, I have this here, and I can once again click, and then once again click over here. Maybe click it right here. Maybe if I want to, say for instance, change the direction of this, and right there, I can still, let's look here. So you can still hold down. I can't quite navigate with the space bar being held down, but I can scroll around like this. So I'll just see if I can't trace out the bear here. So once again, for instance, right here, I'm going to let go. I want to hold down the Control button, shorten this up a little bit to continue tracing around like so. Let go, hold down Control, change directions. Okay, I'm going to scroll over this way. See if I can shorten this up a little bit so it doesn't change necessarily the direction, but it does sort of shorten out the curve here. Okay, let go, Control. All right, so we're coming up on the end here. I can just sort of close this out. And once we've done that, there really isn't much in the way of, we don't really have much in the way of an ability to change the way things look here. So once you've completed this, you come back in, and then suddenly now we really don't have much in the way of the ability to edit this. I will say though, over here we do have, for instance, like this sort of area of like shall we say, layers, and so we can kind of identify the different sort of shapes we've got. But let's take a look at this. I'm going to grab this here bear, and I'm going to click my fill, and I'll fill it up with something. Say for instance, like not black. I'll fill it up with maybe I don't know, blue. You can fill it with whatever you like. I'll fill it with dark blue. And I'll take my border and I'll just make my border like nothing, like 0 pixels. And I'll leave shadow alone for now. So what we want to do is this. Let's ooh, let me just one quick thing here. Let me take this color here. Let me just do one quick thing. I want to get rid of this little area here. Let me get my pen tool real quick. And I'll just sort of carve out a little something of the between the feet. And then what we can do is we can grab this and drag this back to where it was. And so now I want to say we should be able to create a little space between the feet by selecting both of these. So again, that's selected, and then hold down Shift, and then we can just minus friend. And then we have this little space between the feet. So that's neat. Okay, I can just go ahead and get rid of this bear. All right, so with that being said, let's create a little bear cutout typography here. So I'm going to get my pencil tool, and I'm going to draw out the word bear. Now, what's going to happen is as soon as I start writing, it's going to create a path that if I were to pick up this pen, it would suddenly kind of create a new path. So for instance, I create this little path here. If I were to say, for instance, make like a line with the pencil tool, like over here, it creates a freehand path. And if I were to create like another line, I'd reselect my tool here, and it would create another path. So this right here is its own little thing. So you have to draw these letters. Let me see if I can back up here. Can I back up? Let's see here. How if we can undo? I don't think we can undo very much. That's it, right? Okay, cool. All right, that's fine. Okay, so I'll just get rid of this. All right, so be careful. Your undo is, I think you have one undo before you run out of undos here. So let's do this. I'm gonna write the word bear, and I'm gonna see if I can kind of arrange the word bear around this silhouette here. So I'll just write the word bear, and once again, don't pick up your pencil as you draw this letter. So see if you can draw this without picking up your mouse. B. All right, so that's the B right there, and then we'll do this again, and then we'll just draw E. Oh, oops. Okay, we'll undo that. All right, try it again without picking it up here. We'll just scoot down, out, in, up, out, in, up, out. There we go. Okay, cool. We got it. All right, and then A without picking the pencil up. So up, down, and then right there, and then R. Up, down, and then, okay, cool. All right, so we got this bear. Okay, so that looks kind of bad, and that's okay, because we don't really need it to look good at this point. What we're going to do here, let's select all this. I'll beef this stroke up slightly so I can see it better. And I might even change my color to like red or something. All right, just so I can see this a bit better. So now what we're going to do is we're going to slice a little bit of this bear away, so we can see the letters sort of emerging from the bear. So we'll do this with a combination of our pen tool and our rectangle tool as well. So I'm gonna get in kind of close. Let me get my pen tool here. I'll zoom in some, and well, not that much, maybe 250. And I'll zoom in somewhat so I can see some good details here. And I'll get my pen tool here. I'm going to see if I can't go as close as I can to the way this letter was drawn here. I can make it look a little handmade. And I'm just going to get kind of close together so I can kind of create this sort of interesting little shape here. I'll just hold down Shift. I'll just click once on this, hold down Shift, click on the bear, and then subtract. And we'll do this again inside the letter B. So I'll make a little line kind of like this. Like so. And once again, select, hold down Shift, and subtract. And then we'll do it one more time. Click. And then subtract. And then to finish this out, what we'll do is we'll kind of create sort of a series of lines that kind of come in, sort of stop, and then they come in, down, over, and then see if we can't connect this down here. Up like so. And then once again, oops. We'll just minus front. And if you'd like, you could even sort of slice this away as well. I just make a little rectangle tool here. And just slice that away. So, or not. I'll leave that for now. Oh, look at that. You can back up a little bit more. Okay, with that done, I might just take away this red B here, and then let's continue on with this E. I'll just make my pen tool kind of go between this A and this E, and I'll make kind of a shape here. I'm just going to go in, down a little bit here. You can maybe even have the center be a little bit more noticeable. So for instance, I'll have like the top part of the E be thicker than the middle part of the E here. Same with the bottom. And we'll just drag this up. And with that done, click on it once, twice, subtract, get rid of that. And we'll do the same thing over here. We'll just grab a little handful of the pen tool. Minus front. Let's see about this here. Perhaps, yeah, we might have to do it like this just to identify our letter A here. Alright, and then finally the arm. So we hold down Control once we've created our path to lift this back up. And okay, I'm reaching the limits here. And almost done. R, we'll do a little slice right here. I'll do a little slice down here. And then we'll finish it up with a little divot inside, but I want to keep like the sort of, oops, sort of rump to the bear. And let's get rid of these two paths here. Let's zoom out and see what we got. Hey, look at that. We got the word bear coming out of a bear. Okay, so last thing we'll do, I think what I'll do is I'll just grab my rectangle tool and I'll make a big old rectangle like this. And I might change it from like a color to a radial gradient. And let's see if we can determine what our colors are going to be here. So maybe, here we go. It looks as if we can click on like the middle of our, this little circle right here in the middle, and we can kind of drag it into the center. We can shorten our circle here to be a little more. And so maybe we'll go from like, I don't know, I'll do like orange or something like that. I'll go from like light orange in the center. And I'll click on this little circle over here and I'll have it be like sort of dark orange on the edge. I think that's good. I want to say we can, oops, click on this and have it go to the back. Fun. And this whole thing can be selected all at once, and we can just sort of align this to the center. And neato. Okay, cool. So let's look at how we export this. Let's click on export, and we could download it as a JPEG. How about that? And download this, and let's see what this looks like here. I'll call this Bear Typography. And let's see what it looks like. I have a little slice here. Yeah, okay. I wonder if I can avoid that. Let's go back here a little bit. And, okay, oh, I see. There's a little bounding box in terms of my artboard, so I can just pull that out there. And let's so yeah, if it goes outside of the artboard when you export it, it looks like you can. Here we go. Cool, JPEG. And JPEG quality, we can like increase the size here. Maybe you want to like make it at least 2,000 pixels wide. Make it good quality here. Download that. We'll call it Bear Typography Big. Let's take a look-see. Yeah, it looks nice. All right, cool. And so obviously you could do a number of things. You could like, you know, put in more detail on the face. You could fix whatever this was going on here with the feet. Not really sure what that was all about. But yeah, that's a good little start here, and we'll kind of continue on with this. All right, so neato. This is a fun little tool. I like this. We'll do more stuff with this, and can't wait to see what you guys produce. You can obviously, like, we'll make this bear together, and we'll have another project we'll do with this, and we'll have a few more this week. All right, very cool. Can't wait to see you guys produce. Happy designing.